The news hit like a lightning strike. One message, one leak, and suddenly every front office phone in the AFC lit up. $200 million. That's the number floating around. A blockbuster offer, not for a veteran, not for a proven superstar, but for a rookie quarterback who hasn't even played a full NFL snap, Shedeur Sanders. Inside Cleveland's building, chaos. Executives whispering in corners, coaches packing like there's a storm coming. Reports say the Jets made the first call, desperate, dangling a package so massive it didn't sound real, future picks, star players, cash flexibility, all to pry Shedeur away from a Browns team already knee-deep in confusion. And here's the twist, it wasn't instantly dismissed. For 48 tense hours, the Browns actually considered it. Meetings ran late into the night. Owners asked questions no one expected to hear this early in Shedeur's career. What if he's not the fit? What if the locker room's already divided? What if Kevin Stefanski's patience is wearing thin? The rumors spread faster than wildfire. Fans scrolling through social media could feel the panic pulsing through the organization. One side saying, "Don't you dare move him." The other whispering, "Maybe it's smarter business than it sounds." And behind every headline was a single question. How did we get here? How did the Browns, fresh off drafting the most talked-about quarterback prospect since Trevor Lawrence, end up in trade talks before Week 1? The answer isn't simple. It's a story layered with pride, politics, and pressure. Because this isn't just about a football decision, it's about control. Who runs this team? The coach who believes in his system, or the front office that believes in branding? Every insider knows one truth. When money and ego collide, talent often gets caught in the middle. So tonight, we break down the moment everything changed. The leaks, the power struggle, and the reason a $200 million phone call could rewrite Cleveland's future. Because if this trade happens, the AFC landscape doesn't just shift, it explodes. And if it does, the fallout might be even worse. Behind the scenes, long before that $200 million offer ever surfaced, cracks had already started to show inside the Browns organization. The cameras caught smiles, team huddles, and chemistry, but what they didn't show was the quiet tension building between the locker room, the coaching staff, and the front office. It started subtly. A few sideline glances, some questionable play calling, and the growing sense that Kevin Stefanski, the man once hailed as the Browns' savior, was losing the room. Players noticed the inconsistency. Some weeks, Stefanski's system looked unstoppable, smooth, efficient, balanced. Other weeks, it looked lost, predictable, and miles away from Shedeur Sanders' natural rhythm. Behind closed doors, whispers began. He's not letting Shedeur play his game. Why draft him if you won't unleash him? Sources close to the team described a brewing disconnect, not personal hatred, but philosophical chaos. Stefanski wanted control, structure, discipline. Shedeur wanted creativity, tempo, freedom. And when a generational talent meets an inflexible system, something has to give. But it wasn't just about play style, it was about politics. Rumors suggest certain voices in the front office began doubting the entire direction. There were meetings where Shedeur's name came up in ways that shocked even longtime staffers. Questions about marketability, fit, and long-term return. Not performance, not potential, profit. The Browns, a franchise haunted by decades of dysfunction, found themselves right back in the same trap, trying to fix everything with numbers instead of trust. Inside the building, it became clear this wasn't just a football team anymore. It was a battlefield, Stefanski fighting for his system, the front office fighting for its image, and in the middle, Shedeur Sanders, the rookie expected to carry both. And maybe that's why that trade rumor felt so real. It didn't come out of nowhere. It came from the cracks that were already there. Because in Cleveland, the problem isn't just losing games. It's losing unity. And as the tension deepened, one truth became obvious. This hidden crisis wasn't going away. It was about to explode onto the field. Before the first snap of the season, before the cameras rolled and the jerseys were even clean, Shedeur Sanders' rookie year was already buried under expectations. The headlines called him the future. The locker room called him the experiment. And somewhere in between, the Browns' internal chaos began to take shape. Reports suggest that from day one, Shedeur wasn't given the same leash other rookie quarterbacks get. Limited reps in training camp, strict play calling, endless adjustments meant to mold him into Stefanski's system rather than building around his natural playmaking instincts. Some insiders even claimed it looked deliberate, as if the coaching staff wanted to slow him down to prove a point. And it worked. By the end of camp, Shedeur looked hesitant, his timing was off, his rhythm gone. Fans saw a rookie learning the playbook. Insiders saw something different, a generational talent being boxed in by pride and politics. The root of it all, fear. Fear that giving Shedeur too much freedom too early would expose the cracks in Stefanski's system. Fear that a young QB would outshine his coach. Fear that control would shift from the sideline to the spotlight. And when you mix ego, pressure, and millions of dollars, the season's tone is set before kickoff. Every decision since then, from practice reps to press conferences, has been shaped by that early tension. Stefanski needed proof his structure still worked. Shedeur needed room to breathe. And the front office, they just wanted results or someone to blame. That's why when the trade whispers started surfacing, it wasn't just NFL business. It was a reflection of everything Cleveland refused to admit. They drafted a star, but built a system that wouldn't let him shine.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button.
The storm had been brewing since training camp. All it needed was one phone call, and one team bold enough to make an offer too big to ignore. When the call finally came in, even Cleveland's top brass were caught off guard. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't an agent fishing for leverage. It was the New York Jets, calling with a real, staggering proposal that sent shockwaves through the AFC. Word spread fast across insider channels. The Jets were prepared to move heaven and earth to land Shedeur Sanders. Multiple first-round picks, 2 veteran starters, a flexible cap structure that could absorb his rookie deal and still leave room to build around him. It was an offer designed not just to tempt, but to test Cleveland's loyalty. Behind the scenes, meetings started immediately. The Browns' owner was intrigued. The GM called it insane but worth considering. And Stefanski, he was furious. He didn't even want the conversation happening. According to reports, he stormed out of an internal meeting, telling staff that this kid is the future, not trade bait. But here's the part no one expected. Shedeur himself wasn't silent. Sources close to the rookie say he caught wind of the talks and didn't take it lightly. The idea that his own team might already be entertaining an exit had him questioning everything. The trust, the culture, the promise they made on draft night. The Jets, meanwhile, leaked just enough to stir chaos. A few sources hinting at a massive quarterback move, enough to light the internet on fire. Fans debated nonstop. Would Cleveland actually do it? Could they really move on from the most hyped rookie since Luck? The timing couldn't have been worse. Just weeks before the season, with tensions already high, that offer tore through Cleveland's locker room like wildfire. Players started wondering who was really in charge, the coach, the front office, or the headlines. The trade never went through, but in a way, the damage was already done. Because once another team shows you how much your player is worth, there's no going back to business as usual. And for the Browns, that phone call didn't just shake confidence, it shattered it. When the trade talks died down, most fans thought Cleveland had simply chosen loyalty over chaos. But inside the building, loyalty had very little to do with it. Because according to several insiders, the Browns didn't keep Shedeur Sanders because they believed in him. They kept him because they needed him. The truth is, Shedeur had become the Browns' biggest investment, not just on the field but off it. Merchandise sales spiked the moment his name was announced on draft night. National TV appearances, brand endorsements, social media buzz, all orbiting around one player. Cleveland finally had something marketable, something fresh, something the league was talking about for the right reasons. Trading him, no matter how big the offer, would have exposed something the organization wasn't ready to face, that they never had a plan beyond the hype. They built their image around Shedeur, not their system. And if he walked away, so would the illusion of progress. Behind closed doors, executives started framing it differently. We're committed to development. We're invested long-term. But those were just polished phrases hiding the reality. They couldn't afford to lose the spotlight. Some inside sources say it even went deeper. There were sponsorship contracts and media deals that hinged on Shedeur's presence in Cleveland. His name wasn't just a player's, it was a brand asset. And that brand was keeping a lot of people in that building employed. So while Stefanski and the coaching staff fought to keep control on the field, the suits upstairs fought to keep the lights on off it. The moment the Jets' offer leaked, panic set in, not because they feared losing a quarterback, but because they feared losing relevance. And that's the dirty secret nobody in Cleveland wants to admit. Shedeur Sanders isn't just the Browns' quarterback, he's their business model. That's why, no matter what trade package lands on their table, they won't pull the trigger. Because trading Shedeur wouldn't just be losing a player, it'd be admitting the franchise is still broken. And for Cleveland, perception is the only thing left to protect. Whenever criticism starts to heat up around Shedeur's usage, one phrase always seems to echo from Cleveland's front office. He's still developing. It's the go-to defense, the built-in shield that shuts down every tough question. But lately, fans and analysts are starting to see through it. Because when they say development, what they really mean is delay. The Browns love to bring up the Patrick Mahomes comparison. They remind everyone how Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year, learned the system, and then became unstoppable. It's their favorite story, the convenient blueprint for patience. But there's one glaring problem with that narrative. Shedeur's situation looks nothing like Mahomes'. Mahomes had Andy Reid, a coach who believed in him from day one. A system built for him, not around the coach's ego. And teammates who trusted the plan. Shedeur, he's got a divided locker room, a coach protecting his job, and a system that feels allergic to creativity. Calling that development is like locking an artist in a box and saying it's part of the process. What fans are realizing is that this excuse has become the Browns' safety net. Every poor game plan, every limited snap count, every questionable call, it all gets wrapped in the same justification. He's still learning. But how do you learn if you're never allowed to lead? How do you grow when every move is pre-scripted and second-guessed? Insiders say even some players are getting frustrated, quietly questioning why a quarterback with elite instincts is being treated like a backup project. And that's where the Mahomes comparison starts to fall apart, because patience only works when there's trust on both sides. Right now, Cleveland's patience feels less like a strategy and more like an excuse. Fans can sense it, analysts can see it. And deep down, Shedeur probably knows it too. Because development shouldn't mean holding someone back. It should mean preparing them to take over. But in Cleveland, that word has become a mask, one that hides fear, control, and the uncomfortable truth that maybe, just maybe, the Browns don't know how to handle a star. As the noise around Cleveland grows louder, one question keeps echoing through league circles, not about Shedeur's talent, not about his readiness, but about the shadow following him into the NFL. Shedeur Sanders. Some insiders say the Browns' hesitation to fully back Shedeur isn't about football at all, it's about control. Because when you draft a Sanders, you don't just get a quarterback. You get a brand, a media empire, a family that commands attention wherever they go. And that's exactly what makes front offices nervous. If you're enjoying this video and loving the content, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. It really helps us know what you want to see more of. And why keep all the excitement to yourself? Share this video with your friends, family, or anyone who loves NFL drama. Privately, some executives admit it. They've never dealt with a situation quite like this. Dan isn't your typical NFL dad. He's a Hall of Famer with influence, reach, and a fan base that moves like a wave. Every press conference, every social media post, every subtle comment he makes about his son, it all becomes national news overnight. For a franchise like Cleveland, that kind of outside power can feel threatening. Because when a player's camp carries more public sway than the front office, the balance shifts. Decisions stop being made quietly. Narratives stop being controlled internally. And in a league obsessed with image, that's the ultimate nightmare. Rumors suggest some inside the Browns' organization fear that Dan's presence could undermine the team's authority, that his influence could steer public perception, sway locker room loyalty, even pressure coaching decisions. So instead of embracing the Sanders spotlight, Cleveland's been trying to contain it. Keeping Shedeur's media availability limited. Controlling what's said in press conferences. Downplaying the Dan connection as outside noise. But here's the twist, that approach might be backfiring. Because the more the Browns try to silence the Sanders name, the louder the speculation gets. Fans aren't blind. They see the tension. They see how differently Shedeur is treated compared to other rookies. And the question hanging over all of it is one the Browns can't shake. Are they protecting their quarterback, or protecting themselves from Dan's influence? Either way, the message is clear. This isn't just a football story anymore. It's a power struggle between a franchise desperate to control its narrative and a family that's already rewritten the rules of attention. And right now, Cleveland looks like it's losing both. Cleveland's standing at a crossroads, not just in football terms, but in identity. This franchise has spent decades chasing stability, chasing that one quarterback who could finally silence the ghosts of the past. And now, with Shedeur Sanders sitting right in front of them, they're on the verge of making the same mistake that defined their history, fearing their own potential. Because make no mistake, this isn't just about a trade offer or first-team reps. It's about what kind of organization the Browns want to be. Do they want to be bold, forward-thinking, willing to nurture greatness even when it comes with pressure and spotlight? Or will they go back to being the team that folds every time things get complicated, the one that trades tomorrow's star to protect today's comfort? Right now, the signs aren't good. The front office looks fractured, the coaching staff sounds defensive, and the locker room feels caught between two futures, one led by Dillon Gabriel and one that never got the chance to start with Shedeur Sanders. The fan base knows it too. You can feel it in the comment sections, in the talk shows, in every rumor that refuses to die. People aren't just frustrated, they're tired. Tired of watching potential get wasted. Tired of seeing talent leave and thrive somewhere else. Tired of being the what-if franchise of the AFC. If Cleveland pulls the trigger on this trade, they're not just moving a player, they're moving a symbol. A symbol of hope, of relevance, of what the future could have been. And once that's gone, there's no getting it back. But if they hold on, if they finally decide to invest in Shedeur the way winning teams invest in their young quarterbacks, then maybe, just maybe, this is the moment everything changes. Because every great story has that one decision that defines everything after it. For the Browns, this is that decision. It's the line between another decade of chaos and the beginning of something different. Cleveland, been here before. This time, they better choose right. And that is where we leave things for now. Because the truth is, this story's far from over. The clock's still ticking toward that November 4th trade deadline. The rumors are only getting louder, and behind those closed doors in Berea, you better believe some serious conversations are happening right now. Phones are buzzing, agents are lurking, and every insider worth their salt is trying to figure out what the Browns' next move will be. Will they cave to the pressure and send Shedeur packing before he ever takes a real snap in Cleveland? Or will they hold their ground, block out the noise, and finally start treating this kid like the franchise cornerstone he was drafted to be? Either way, the decision they make in the next few days won't just shape the Browns' season, it'll reshape the entire AFC landscape. Because when you've got a name like Sanders on your roster, nothing happens quietly. Every move echoes, every headline multiplies, every silence says more than words ever could. And that's why we'll be here breaking down every twist, every leak, every quote that slips through the cracks. Because this saga, it's not just football anymore. It's legacy, it's politics, it's pride. So if you've been rocking with me this far, do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and lock in. Because the next chapter of this story could drop any minute. Maybe it's a Schefter bomb. Maybe it's a leaked locker room clip. Maybe it's Dan himself breaking his silence. Whatever it is, you know it's going to blow up, and you know we're going to be the first to break it down. And to everyone saying this is just another rookie quarterback story, you're not paying attention. This is a power struggle between old-school NFL control and new-age player influence. This is about what happens when talent meets politics and who survives when the two collide. So stay tuned, because the Shedeur Sanders saga isn't slowing down. It's just getting started.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow and lets us know you love this kind of content. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, or anyone who loves football as much as you do. The more the conversation spreads, the better it gets. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss when we drop fresh stories, wild rumors, or breaking updates that the mainstream media won't talk about.